The chairman of Nature's Miracle, a company that has a treasury that contains XRP, has stated publicly that XRP is currently a tenfold more profitable investment than Bitcoin at this point in time. What kind of impact will this have on other businesses that are considering entering the treasury industry? Furthermore, I am in possession of some confidential material from Ripple Swell. Some of the things that Sal Galberti witnessed on the inside are revealed in a little amount. Additionally, somebody is placing some stuff together in this location. X-Bull in the financial sector. During the conversation that Brad Garlinghouse conducted with Patrick Witt, there is a statement that was made that could indicate that the United States government is about to undergo some changes. Is it possible that they utilize Ripple and XRP? That is going to be investigated by us. Additionally, I have a great deal of additional XRP news, guys, but I would want to begin here with the 7-second footage from the beginning. Pay close attention. According to what they are going to tell you, the most significant distraction that is occurring right now is the transition to the new financial market. These are not XRP. Bitcoin has become the most distracting alternative to the most significant upheaval that is on the horizon for the financial services industry. They want you to keep your Bitcoin. The fact that you are involved with the assets that are going to be used on a big scale to move all of the money in the globe is something that they do not want you to understand. They do not want you present in XRP. They do not want you to be a part of Ethereum. Stellar and Ondo are two of the other assets that they do not want you to have access to. They want you to concentrate on the huge, bright thing that is made of gold to the point where it really does not have a use case in terms of being a store of value in this day and age. To add insult to injury, here is the video of the chairman, James Lee. The value of XRP is increasing steadily. There is a greater possibility that the value of XRP may increase in the future. Take, for instance, the current market capitalization of XRP, which is barely $180 billion. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is already worth almost $2 trillion. It is therefore possible that XRP will reach the level of Bitcoin at a rate that is at least 10 times higher, given what the United States government is doing, as well as what a large number of financial organizations and institutions are doing. I believe that there is a significant probability that SRP could catch up to Bitcoin over the course of the next few years. Why is the United States government acting in such a peculiar manner? The United States government has informed us that they are only genuinely concerned with Bitcoin in this regard. There is a possibility that Chairman Ali is aware of anything else that we are not aware of. Could it be that the United States government is actually working on constructing infrastructure that utilizes blockchain technology, but will not be centered on the Bitcoin blockchain? Additionally, it will not be on Ethereum because Ethereum is headquartered in Switzerland. Is that correct? They are interested in collaborating with American businesses that they are familiar with due to the fact that Brad Garlinghouse has been invited to the White House 4 times in the current year. Nobody from Consensus was present as far as I could tell. If you did, please let me know. Not a problem. The interview with Sal Galberti is presented here by Ray Fuentes. The items that he observed at Ripple Swells are going to receive a little amount of his attention. I'll play this for you. You are now doing the favor of repaying the favor by conducting this interview. The way, is it true that your experience was a rippling swell from the very first day? Absolutely wonderful. There is a positive event. This is a great place to learn about a lot of people that are in charge of making decisions and bringing about changes in the industry. When you were coming to the end of the first day, did you find any information that stood out to you as particularly noteworthy or the most important takeaway? Unquestionably. I believe that the 2 things that immediately stood out to me were, 1, and I remember that I heard the CEO of Canary remark that they're really quickly, when we are discussing tokenized assets on the blockchain at the moment, we are only at about $50 to $70 billion. And it's possible that we're not even at that amount, right? When I look at the statistics, I've seen them as low as $25 billion and as high as $50 billion. But when they reach the tens of trillions or even just trillions, it might have a significant influence. Just in the tokenized market, growth of 20x, 50x, and 100x is possible. In addition, we are aware that the XRP ledger is one of the most promising new locations for tokenizing treasuries and other assets. From this point forward, you are curious in the amount of market share that the XRP ledger is going to take. This is quite exciting. Let's just say that the due date really stands out to me because I believe that it is either going to be the second day, trading day after the third quarter earnings announcement by Circle, which is when the institutional traders can begin trading the Circle public shares. Let's just say that it is the date that really stands out to me. It is my understanding that the lockup, which lasted for a total of 180 days, will come to an end on December 2nd, which is also my birthday. In any case, I am grateful to you, sir. I am grateful to you. You are more than welcome to attend and join the party. To be sure, there is a lot to unpack. In addition, Coinbase had already launched its initial public offering, IPO, when the most recent bull run occurred in the year 2020, when Bitcoin reached its all-time high. In the public sector as opposed to the private sector, as well as in the market as opposed to traditional finance and this decentralized finance landscape, there are a great deal of synergies that we observe. I am curious about your ideas. There is a great deal of synergy and there are a few coincidences, but in reality, there are no coincidences. It seems to me that the second half of November is a really important time for me to do. Ripple and XRP are both examples. There you have it, gentlemen, the final half of November, which we are going to be entering pretty immediately. On the DTCC website, all of the exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are obviously now listed. We are aware that this will occur. We are familiar with the 8A forms. We are familiar with the S1 filings. It is common knowledge that the only way to put a halt to this train is for the Securities and Exchange Commission to step in and put a stop to it. When we take a look at some of these dates, which range from November 13th to November 20th, we can see that things ought to be happening. In light of the fact that I believe there was some concealed communication contained within this, I would like to inquire as to whether or not you are also able to pick up on it. In that case, let's read through the post that X Finance Bulls has made, and I'll play the video for you so that we can both look at it. Why is it that people continue to disregard XRP when a representative from the White House just stated that tens of trillions of dollars are going to the cryptocurrency market, which is a solution to problems in the real world? Patrick Whip, an official from the United States White House, did not avoid answering the question at RippleSwell 2025. To put it more bluntly, you will be looking at market caps that are in the tens of trillions and are connected to technologies that integrate into real finance and enable global efficiency. After you have finished reading it, you should ask yourself what protocol is already accomplishing that. At this point, Ripple is working toward relevance. It is already in the process of acquiring legacy systems and simultaneously connecting them directly to the XRP ledger. What they have already seized control over is as follows. Treasury infrastructure that operates in real time, G Treasury G maintains relationships with thousands of the world's most prominent corporations. Using their user interface to gain access to all of their value and their money with the ability to plug in the XRP ledger that they have the ability to expand their business at an exponential rate and begin utilizing the money they have earned to earn yield or to accomplish whatever they like in real time. At this point, the most important thing that nobody seems to be talking about, but that I am noticing, is that it forces all of the other competition, right? In the event that you own one of these 1,000 businesses, and those businesses are competing against other businesses operating in their respective industries, right? They now have access to all of this state-of-the-art technology to explode their business and use their money in the manner in which they require it to do so, which is going to put pressure on all of the other companies to do the same because it puts everybody else at a disadvantage when you have the most recent and best technology stablecoins tokenization being able to earn yield off of your stale capital, the capitals that are sitting around the world. This presents a significant benefit. Depending on the size of your company, you might be making millions, tens of millions, or even billions of dollars annually. This is all dependent on the size of your business. In addition, I believe that this compels a greater number of businesses to utilize the technology, which may only be beneficial for us. All right, it discusses a hidden road now, prime brokerage, a rail payments platform, and 10% of the global stablecoin payments that are made between businesses. Furthermore, we are aware that the market for stablecoins is anticipated to exceed $1 trillion in the near future. At the moment, it is approximately $308 billion give or take, if you sum together the primary stablecoin companies, which include Palisade, Institutional Grade CUS, Medico, Tokenize, and Asset Infrastructure. Guys, they are simply lacking a few bits here and there. All of these are now being connected to the XRP ledger in some way. No, this is not a narrative. At the highest level of finance, it is the execution of the plan. Also, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse did not pull any punches in his statements. I bring to your attention the fact that XRP is at the core of everything that is going on. Ripple is able to keep everything locked in. Let us discuss the supply. The skeptics of XRP continue to use this stale line of reasoning. The quantity of it is excessive, already high market valuation, with minimal room for growth. The reason for this is that they do not comprehend the daily volume that is entering the trillions in the XRP ledger, which is about to cause that interpretation to age extremely horribly. Tokenized bonds, stablecoins, foreign exchange, credit, institutional players locking up supply, XRP being burned in every transaction, long-term holdings by corporations and treasuries, and supply shock are all factors that could affect the cryptocurrency market. When value is transferred through a single bridge asset at a large scale, this is another thing that does not simply add up. The price has been completely adjusted to reflect the role that it now plays. So the actual question is it possible for XRP to reach $5, $10, or $20? When it comes to valuing an asset that is at the core of a financial network that is worth multiple trillions of dollars, how do you even begin? In what ways are you beginning to comprehend what is actually taking place? My opinion is that this is an excellent post. It would be helpful if I played this video clip that illustrates what he is talking about. I am not going to be the interviewer that is very firm and demanding. As of this now, I have received it 20 times. I would simply like to add that the future seems extremely promising for this sector and that there are going to be businesses that are going to emerge in this area that are probably not even in existence currently. And you should know that it is going to be really incredible. An intriguing, fascinating topic. I also have some ideas here as well, and I will be discussing them in another video that I am currently working on. You will hear me talk about how the Treasury market is going to eventually go to blockchain. I think it would be interesting to know how they plan to accomplish that, as well as what kinds of systems the United States government intends to deploy. Obviously, the construction of their own system would take a very long time, and Trump is looking for a victory right now. You are probably wondering where this is going to go, because the only way to obtain that win right now is to go partner with a firm that is based in the United States. All right, not a problem. Here is where Monica Long did provide a recap. Just a few things that I want to bring to your attention here. In addition, she is providing a summary of a whirlwind of announcements. Naturally, we are aware of the investment of $500 million that was made by Fortress and Citadel, Pantera, and Galaxy, which resulted in Ripple being valued at $40 billion. Heard that MasterCard, WebBank, and Gemini are going to be able to use RLUSD on the XRP ledger shortly. In a single year, MasterCard processes payments totaling $9.757 trillion. The annual payouts amount to almost $180 billion. Are you beginning to question whether there is a more comprehensive scheme at work here? Are RLUSD and Ripple going to be able to assist MasterCard in moving more of that money, and not only the Gemini goods here? Moreover, I had a question concerning the loan. There are over $300 trillion worth of debt markets at the moment, and if you have a credit card, that is considered additional debt. In all honesty, it is not a component of the money supply. Are you going to put this value on the chain when you begin making these payments on your credit card, or when you have this value altogether? If consumers use cryptocurrency, will they be able to make those payments instantly? In my opinion, it is the direction that everything is going to go. If I had to guess, I would say that there are some new announcements or items that we have not yet seen. I have a feeling that there is more to come here. There is also discussion of Palisade. That was a topic that we discussed quite a bit. Of course, the RLUSD to $1 billion exchange rate. There was also a lot of extremely wonderful news that was released. In addition, Ripple did, in fact, bring attention to this. I don't want to spend an excessive amount of time on this topic because we did go over it the previous week. I would like to draw attention to a few of these highlights that I observed. When it comes to the blockchain infrastructure provider, Ripple is now in the lead. I'll